So welcome to part 2 of the steamed banana sponge with vanilla sauce video. In this part we're going to watch Babatunde try to cook the same recipe over there in Nigeria. This should be interesting because this is the first time he's done anything like this. So just to prepare you for what you're about to see, be aware that the power system over there is nothing like it is here, so you're going to hear generators running in the background. Anyway, over to you, Babatunde.
So today I'm going to show you how to make our steamed banana and sponge pudding. Mr. Mike has actually done it, so I'm just going to be doing the part 2 of that, and these are the ingredients I will be using for doing that. Here we have butter. Here we have a cup of butter, and here we have a cup of flour. So you can use self-raising flour, you can use plain flour and baking powder. Here we have our cinnamon. Please pardon the noise of my daughter. We have 2 eggs. For that we use 2 eggs. Then in Mr. Mike's video he used 1 banana because I couldn't find a very big banana, so I decided to use 4 small bananas. Then we have a bowl of white sugar. Then we have 1.5 cups of a cup of sugar. Then we have 1.5 cups of milk. Then we have honey. Mr. Mike has actually used syrup, so I prefer to use honey. And then we have nutmeg. What else? I think for the cake we've actually covered that. Please pardon the generator sound that you are hearing. That's my neighbor generator. This is Nigeria. We don't have stable power supply, so we use generator to give ourselves power. Yes. We also have corn flour. This is corn flour. So that is part of the ingredient. Now to start we start the recipe by pouring the butter into the bowl that we're going to use to mix everything. This is the butter you transfer to the bowl. Then the sugar also be transferred to the bowl. Then everything will have to be mixed together. I think Mr. Mike is very, very good at this. I think this is the first time that I'll be doing this. This is the first time that I'll actually be making this kind of recipe. So make sure everything is thoroughly mixed. I think Mr. Mike he took his own butter from the fridge, so it was actually harder than this one. So this one is relatively easier to mix together. This is very, very easy to mix together. All right. So the next now we need the egg yolk and also the egg white. So we have 2 chances, just like Mr. Mike said, to separate the yolk from the white. So okay. So I will be keeping my own yolk right. So So mixing everything together. Now to make the banana, this is not as yellow as Mr. Mike's banana, but this is still a good banana. In fact, banana is my favorite food. I really love eating banana. So I want to mash the banana now. Mashing of the banana. I need to make sure there's no lump in the mashed banana. No lump at all. So it can now be transferred to the mixture. So everything will be stirred again, thoroughly stirred. So we don't have I couldn't get ground anise, so I'll be using only cinnamon and nutmeg. So this is just a very small quantity of nutmeg. So a little bit of cinnamon. So the plain flour and also the baking powder, the whole mixture, but not everything poured at once, but gradually poured. I think pouring it gradually actually makes it easier to mix together. If you pour it all at once, it will make it difficult to mix the whole thing. So little by little does it. So everything has been mixed together, perfectly mixed together. They're perfectly mixed together. So the next stage now is now to transfer it to the bowl, which is going to bake it with the heat. So just like so I'm going to rub the inside of the this one is stainless pan with butter, so that the cake will not stick to the side of the pan. This is to avoid any sticking. Now the next is the honey to serve like a foundation for the whole mixture. So it's not easy to get an original honey in Nigeria, so I had to go an extra mile to get this. It is not easy at all. The market is full of fake honey. So we have this. So, I'll be using only the aluminum foil. I couldn't find the paper, so I asked Mr. Mike. He said that it's okay, I can use the only aluminum foil that will still produce the same result. So I'll be using only the aluminum foil. I could not find the paper. So now let me get my string. This is the string that I'll be using. Okay. I think the water is boiled now, so it is very safe to put it there now. Yes. So the timer is 1 hour, so we're going to wait for 1 hour. I'll make sure the heat is not too much. I think it's proper now, so I'll check it in the next 1 hour. I'm going to make the vanilla sauce now. So a spoonful, 1.5 of white sugar. Yes, I think this is half of white sugar. Then we'll have 2 tablespoonfuls of corn flour. Okay, corn flour. Okay, that's 2 teaspoonful. I think a little bit, that makes it 2 the corn flour. Then a little bit of milk. To stir everything. So everything will now be stirred together. No lump. Thoroughly stir. Now the egg yolk into the milk. there. Then the vanilla extract, just little quantity of vanilla extract. So again, please don't mind the background generator noise. This is Nigeria. We don't have stable power supply, so we need generator to. So my neighbor is using a generator to supply power. So that is why we are having that background generator. Please pardon me. So everything is mixed together. The next thing is now for the vanilla sauce to be boiled and stirred thoroughly as it is being boiled. Alright, this is Nigeria. There's no power, everywhere is getting dark, so I need to use torchlight. So it might not be bright enough. This is Nigeria, you have to know that there's no power. So I want to check now if it is done. So I think it should be done by now. This foil, I don't know. Products are becoming very, very substandard in Nigeria. So this foil, they are not as thick as they used to be. So it tears so easily. Yes, I believe it is done now. So the next thing is to, just like Mr. Mike did, to take a knife and slide it where, yeah. So our esteemed viewers, I would like to see how you are going to rate me, how I'm doing so far. I'd like to see that. This is the first time that I'll be cooking a British recipe, so you have to be gentle with me, please. This is the first time I'll be doing that. So be very, very gentle with me. This is completely new to me. Completely new to me. Just like the water leaf soup was actually new to Mr. Mike. So let's see. Wow. It takes the full shape of the bowl. So this is lovely. I'm really going to enjoy this. So the next thing is to make the vanilla sauce. So I don't have the whisker, so I'm going to improvise by stirring it with 2 spoons facing each other. There's no whisker, so I'll have to improvise. So keep stirring till it thickens. Please in the comments, I would like to know how well I've been doing so far. Please feel free to rate me. But remember, this is the first time I'll be doing this, so be very, very gentle with me. Okay, still not thickened enough. Okay, probably I should increase the heat. Okay, now I'm going to add a teaspoonful of corn flour to accelerate the thickening. that should do it. Yes, it's getting thicker now. Yes, I think it's done now. All right. All right. I think it's not very smooth enough. Yes. Oh, it smells delicious. I'm really going to enjoy this. All right, and I want to taste it now. You can see everywhere is somehow dark. There's no power, so you're only using torchlight. Please pardon me for that, please. So let me taste it and see. This is so delicious. It tastes like nothing I've ever tasted in my life. And I think I really, really love this. This is so wonderful. Mr. Mike, thank you for sharing this recipe with me. Thank you very much. I really love it. The truth is that I really enjoyed this wonderful meal. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
So I think that was pretty amazing, actually, considering that's the first time he's ever made that. That was a near perfect result, and I think that's pretty amazing. It's interesting that those bananas are quite different to the bananas we have here, and I think that affected the texture and the colour of the cake. I think those bananas are probably a bit more starchy than the bananas we get here in the UK, and so that's made the cake a little bit heavier, but it did look like it was tasty. The only tiny mistake I think I would point out there, and it is a really tiny one, is the corn flour. When you add extra corn flour to a sauce like that, you want to mix it with a bit of water first and then pour it in, and that prevents those lumps forming. But tiny mistake, and it really didn't look like it made a big difference to the end result. So I'm so pleased that you enjoyed that, Babatunde. And so we've been chatting a lot about this recipe as we were preparing to make these pair of videos. And the conclusion we both independently came to, which I think is rather lovely, is that when we do this, it's a bit like sharing a meal together. And so it's, even though we can't sit down at a table together, it's a bit like sitting at a table and eating together. So I really appreciate that. And I think Babatunde came to the same conclusion independently of me, that he feels the same way. So I hope that was interesting. And just in other news, we're going to be launching Babatunde's channel really soon now, so the next video you see with him in it may well be on his channel. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.